Hello, welcome to PlayStation Access and welcome back to the Tuesday Checklist, the weekly show where we sit about talking for half a day and then pull out a 20-minute segment and slap a thumbnail on it, job done. This week, Kingdom Hearts 3 is out on PS4. No, it is, you're not dreaming, which is a game notorious for having a story that's, how shall we say, a bit complicated if you haven't played any of the previous entries. This got us thinking about all those games we love to bits, but that are just really hard to explain to someone who doesn't have a clue. Rosie's up first with our headline act.
What better way to start this little feature than talking about our Lord and Saviour, the goodest of all boys, Kingdom Hearts.
Oh god, here we go. This will be good, Rosie.
I love Kingdom Hearts and even I don't know what's going on in Kingdom Hearts.
I just love Kingdom Hearts and I have for years. I have since I was probably like, God, I can't even imagine when they came out. I'm going to take a guess, I'm going to say like 8 to 10 years old or something like that.
2002, I think.
2002. But you know, back when it was Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, it was easy to... Well, there are a few things you're a bit confused about.
Easy, you and I streamed it the other day, and I'm not sure I could tell you what happened in that 2 hours.
Oh, we just walked around the beach, Dave.
Yeah, but what was that place? And
what, Destiny Island?
No, the Destiny Islands, but I never saw where Sora was actually from. And then he went, and then he started off floating through it. Just get on with it, Rosie.
But it's purely just a series that you just can't explain it to people all the time. I mean, even, for example, my brother, I played it way before he did, and he's only played it recently to catch up with Kingdom Hearts 3. And I remember when we were kids, he was like, yeah, but why is who's that then? Yeah, but how come there's 2 of them? Yeah, but Rosie, what's a Heartless? What is darkness? What is light? And asking me all these like philosophical questions.
Yeah, very much so.
And I couldn't answer any of them. I could say like, oh, darkness is the darkness in people's hearts. And he was like, yeah, but what causes darkness? So it's like, well, it's sadness. And he was like, yeah, but what is darkness? It's like, will you just stop asking me questions? And then not only that, but then after obviously Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, some people could get their minds around Chain of Memories. There was a few things in there that people were like, oh, I don't know what this is, but you know, you can play it and still get a rough idea. And then Kingdom Hearts just had a mad one. And then you having like Team Top Distance, Birth by Sleep, the mobile game, it was called like the X key thingy and stuff like that. It just we coded
X key thing.
It just had constantly like game after game after game. But this is all stuff that is leading up to Kingdom Hearts 3. And keeping in track of, because obviously it's not as if the games come out back to back. I mean, some people marathon them now and it's great, but if you're waiting long periods of time, some people don't even, because I believe, Rob, you said you haven't played all of them, have you?
No, I have barely touched the spin-offs. I think one of the problems is also they haven't all come out on the same platform.
Yeah.
It's only now that the collection is all available on PS4.
And then when you're summarised, you're like, so there's Disney characters and you go to Disney worlds, and then there's like these heartless creatures that are trying to like make people lose their hearts, and then there's this stuff, and then like this guy becomes possessed by another dark, heartless guy who wants to take over the world and stuff like that. And Final Fantasy characters are in there. But it's just, the whole concept of it is just so crazy, but I love it. I absolutely adore Kingdom Hearts, and I can't wait for 3, so it's going to be great.
So there.
So there, kids back at school who played other games.
Right, well, my game is like, it's nothing like Kingdom Hearts. I mean, that is next level of, I can't explain it. I feel a bit like a fool going next. But there's a few games that came to mind. I mean, I don't tend to play, and this is a bit of a generalisation, but mad JRPGs. Where, I mean, Rob has told us so many different games on these Tuesday checklists where I'm just like, what are you talking about? And I feel like a bit of a fool because I don't think my game's going to be quite on that level. But I'm going to be talking about a game, it's from a trilogy, and I've only played this game from the trilogy. It's the third one, it's BioShock Infinite. And BioShock Infinite, the premise of the game is kind of easy to explain, I suppose. You play a man and you... Well, I don't even know what he's doing. The thing is, I haven't played it for a long time.
Can't even explain it to yourself.
I can't even remember. Why is he in Colombia? I don't really remember why he goes to... He just waits. Does he just find himself there?
Just go and rescue Elizabeth, hasn't he?
He's going to rescue Elizabeth anyway. I don't think... but he's not going to rescue Elizabeth, is he? He's been invited there. I seem to remember he's got a letter to to go. And when he gets there, he realizes that it's a crazy place and it's all gone wrong. And he kind of comes across Elizabeth, I think, and decides he has to save her. Anyway, I'm trying to think how best to explain this game.
Are you going to spoil it?
First of all, there are going to be major BioShock Infinite spoilers, everybody. So just skip on to the next entry now. But if you have played it, and definitely don't spoil this for yourself because it's so good. You play a man called Booker. And Booker, I can't remember why, I think he gets invited to buy the Lucettes or something to go to Columbia, which is a floating city. He bumps into this lady, Elizabeth, who's being held in like a tower, and she's protected but also held captive by a giant clockwork bird. And this is not the weird bit. So Columbia, I think it was built, but definitely was kind of like governed by a man called Comstock, whose presence is kind of felt throughout the game through like recordings and things, and there's like big propaganda posters and all this kind of stuff. And Elizabeth has this power, it turns out, where she can make tears in the fabric of space-time. That's right, interdimensional tears or rifts. You are trying to help her escape from the big mechanical clockwork bird. The thing is, it turns out that you, Booker, are also Comstock, the governor of Columbia, and that Elizabeth is your daughter that you, Booker, gave to some people to pay some debts that took her to another dimension, Comstock's dimension, for him, who's actually her dad anyway, but from a different dimension. Anyway, it's an amazing game. It's such a good game. I can't explain it. I don't even know if I fully understand it, but I absolutely loved that game. I remember distinctly playing it and talking to Nath about it at length because I was just like so blown away. And this was before I'd even got to the end. Like before the end, I was just really, really enjoying it. The Columbia is an amazing place for a game to be set. And I love all the kind of magic of it and the science of it as well.
So my entry is a little bit different in that the plot of the game is incredibly simple.
Okay.
What is hard is for me to explain why I love it so much.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So let me attempt to do this now.
All right.
A long time ago when I was maybe 7 or 8 years old, about 7 years old.
3 years ago.
Banter. My sister did ballet, and she had a friend that lived around the corner that also did ballet.
Okay.
And once a week, one of the mothers of my sister and her friend would take them to ballet.
Yeah.
And my sister's friend had a brother.
Okay.
So the brother would either come to my house.
Is this what you're struggling to explain?
No. I'm just setting the scene.
I thought BioShock Infinite was hard to understand.
This is the complicated part. So basically, every Tuesday I would spend time with this boy.
Yeah.
That I wasn't really friends with. He would either come to my house or I would go to his house. And the game I'm going to talk about is Hercules, the action game.
Yes! I love this game!
Ooh.
It's so good! It's such a good game!
So it's not particularly difficult to talk about this game plot-wise because it's just the film. You just play the film.
I've actually not seen the film.
I can't remember what happens in that film.
Well, maybe it's going to be hard to talk about it then. Hercules, the action game, is the Citizen Kane of PlayStation 1 games.
Wow.
Right? It is a true masterpiece.
It's amazingly good, like...
So the thing about this game, and I come to my point now, is that I can't explain why, but that's the only thing I ever wanted to play when I went around his house. And the boy that I was with couldn't understand it either. I mean, he had some cool games, including Small Soldiers that was cooler.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to play Hercules.
Yeah.
The first level it's basically a 2.5D side scroller where you run from left to right, and the first level is like the training bit from the film Rosie.
Yeah, and you've got
where you're with Phil, Danny DeVito, and you're basically like swinging a sword.
Yeah, and he's
Phil.
like, get your sword!
Phil,
like, rule number
Hercules
95.
and Phil.
Have you not seen the film?
I've just said that I've not seen the film.
He's
the
voiced
film.
by Danny DeVito as
Well,
well.
I like Danny DeVito.
It's short for Philatites,
Okay, well that's better.
and he's half man, half goat.
Okay.
And you're basically just swinging your sword at sandbags. It's very straightforward. It's like a tutorial, basically. And it's very easy, and it takes maybe like 5 minutes to play properly probably took me like 20 minutes when I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
The second level is completely different. It's like nothing you've learned in the first level at all. And now you're running straight ahead. You're only forward. It's like a gauntlet.
Yeah.
And you can't stop, you can't slow down. You can just sort of move from side to side.
Yeah. Got
It's
ya.
like a racing game.
Yeah.
And there's so many obstacles on this path. There's like pillars falling on you. It's like giant marble fists punching together.
Yeah.
There's a chance you could run over some like pop-up sandals that would speed you up and turn your legs into like a big steamroller that goes really quickly and speed you up. Incredibly hard to play.
Yeah.
Really difficult. And then from that point onwards, again, it's just another 2.5D side-scroller.
Right.
That's the game.
How far did you get?
I don't think I ever finished it because again, I was just around my friend's house and I've just remembered his name is Phil.
Hooray!
That's great.
Does that make you Hercules then, Dan?
In this scenario, it does. Yeah, I'm quite pleased about that.
So a game or a game series that I love that
I can feel it brewing.
is often difficult to explain to anyone who isn't familiar with it is of course the Metal Gear series.
Nanomachines!
Which isn't, I don't think, particularly hard to follow plot-wise if you're playing the games.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to keep up. But to someone who doesn't know the plot, it does sound mad when you're trying to explain it. And it's a bizarre mix, Metal Gear Solid, because it's similar to Yakuza, and people have described Yakuza as serious people doing mad things.
Right.
And there's sort of that kind of feel about it. It's very eccentric. It's got some very serious, hard-hitting themes. You know, it talks about nuclear disarmament is an overriding theme of the entire Metal Gear saga, and this idea that we should be getting rid of nuclear weapons. They're an awful, awful thing. And also the theme of inheriting curses and bad things from your family.
Yeah.
Like genetic, the idea of is evil programmed into your DNA, or is it, the whole nature versus nurture debate is a prevalent theme. But then it's also a series that has, for instance, a man riding round in a truck selling weapons with a monkey in a nappy that constantly drinks soda. Dredden from Metal Gear Solid 4. Or it has just these weird little frog toys that you have to shoot throughout the entire game that pop up and make funny noises when you shoot them. Yeah. Or it will have a recurring character who suffers from irritable bowel syndrome, who appears throughout the series, who eventually ends up marrying Meryl. Like, that's one of my favourite things about the entire thing, is that this guy, Johnny, he's in all the Metal Gears at some point, just this character who constantly has to run off to the bathroom because he's got a bad stomach. But I think it turns out he has irritable bowel syndrome because he didn't take the special nanomachine injections to inhibit the illness that all the other soldiers had. So when you're trying to explain things like that to people, often I've had family members come in during various points of me playing whatever Metal Gear game I'm playing, and they'll just ask a seemingly simple question like, why are you fighting that guy? Yeah. Who's that? And the answer is never a simple one. It's like,
who's that? Well,
I mean, the whole idea of who Solid Snake is, who Solid Snake's brothers are, the fact that they're cloned from Big Boss, who Big Boss is, why is he called Big Boss? If he's called Big Boss, then who's the boss? You know, it's simple stuff if you've played the games, but to the uninitiated, it can seem daunting and incredibly complicated to explain.
Yes.
But it's fantastic. It's got a pinch of the supernatural in it as well. It's sort of set in the real world. It's grounded in reality, but it has these bizarre little, bumps of madness or paranormalness.
Yeah.
That sort of stretch the reality a bit, and it's always the sort of thing that they kind of try and explain away all these things in terms of tech. Like in Metal Gear Solid 2, I think Holly has spoken about this character, Fortune. Yeah. But it's wonderful and insane at the same time.
And you really can't explain it.
I think I did a good job then. You all know what's going on now.
Yeah.
Rip out a Spyro disc, give me that, Phil. I'm playing Hercules on your console.
Yeah. Poor old Phil.
And in retrospect, it's not that great a game. I'm sure there were better games to play at his house at the time.
Yeah.
But I just loved it.
I wonder where Phil is right now.
Maybe watching this. Sorry, Phil, if I put that on you.
Also, Phil, give the video a like if you enjoyed it, hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all our content, and join us again next week for another Tuesday checklist.
For the players.